They like the British SUVs, Range Rovers, and I've seen Rolls Royces over there. Mercedes Benz are very common in Ghana. When I see this big Mercedes S Class driving on an unpaved road that is full of potholes, I scratch my head and I wonder why. But anyway, four-wheel drive vehicles are good to have in a place like Ghana. And if you ship a truck, maybe something with a big cab, like a medium-sized truck, like with the Toyota, that would be not a Tundra, that's the big one, but a Tacoma, for example, with a large cab. That you could probably get in cheaper because it's a utility vehicle. But if it's just a car, you want to think about something that has a lot of room on the inside, that's got a small but powerful engine, like instead of a two-cylinder, a 2.2. And of course uses regular gasoline. There's only one gas in Ghana, and that's gas. There's no unleaded, unleaded super, and unleaded plus. It's just gasoline. And then it's diesel, not the ultra low sulfur diesel, but just diesel. So you have gasoline and you have diesel. So with that in mind, a nice four-cylinder vehicle with a good sized engine like a Chevy Malibu, which is what I sent. It's roomy and all of that. So um, I really like the choice that I made because it's easy to work on, even though, parts, sometimes I have to send them over if I'm not there and it needs a part. But my employee doesn't drive my car that much anyway when I'm not there, except to do my business. Now, let me spend just a few minutes talking about being an expatriate in Ghana. You need a status. And other than the status of tourist. So you get a 2-year multi-entry tourist visa, and you visit Ghana on that visa, and then you immediately go to work on establishing a status. If you're thinking about expatriation, if you say, well, yeah, I got a couple thousand, 25, 3, 4, $5,000 coming in every month. That sounds good. You'd live like a king and queen if you're married. So you go over, you establish a proxy relationship with someone, because there's 3 ways to start a business in Ghana. And there's a lady on here, Dr. Somebody, and she talks about, being successful and having a business in Ghana and all that. There are a lot of different reasons to have a business name in Ghana. One is access. So the first thing I did was I established a proxy relationship with someone whom I trust like a son, and he has never let me down. And when he acts like he's gonna fail, I treat him like a son. And if my son disappoints me, I let him know. And so he, whatever my wishes are, he carries them out, but he also gives me advice and makes recommendations. And it's usually very good advice and very good recommendations. So there are 3 ways to start a business in Ghana. You can start a business in Ghana under your name, your own name. Now that business has to bring an economic value of $500,000, at minimum of $500,000. Or you can start a business where you are partnering with a Ghanaian, and that business you have to bring an economic value to that business that you're partnering with the Ghanaian with of $250,000. That has to be the economic value of what you bring to the business. And then there is having a Ghanaian proxy for you, put the business in his or her name, and list yourself as the director of the business and the chief financial officer if you want to. Without money, a business is nothing. So you're the director and chief financial officer. That person is the owner. But that's just a proxy relationship. That costs 1,050 CD, which is like less than $250. Now for that, you have a business and you get a permit to do business in Ghana. You get a business name, you're a limited liability company, and you get a permit to do business in Ghana. Now, under that business name, since you're listed as the director, you can apply for residency because of your relationship with that business and receive residency as long as you are an employee of that business. Well, as you're a business, so as long as it exists, you're going to be an employee. Or you can get with someone like myself who has already done all of this and then work out a financial relationship which will allow you as an affiliate of my business to apply for residency. And also, I'm in the position to introduce you to a proxy relationship, which can help you with finding, leasing a house. And from there, you can go to buying land and all of that. But of course, you got to have that residency in order to do that. Now, residency is not inexpensive. It can run as much as $1,500 a year to maintain your residency. But you just consider that to be like a tax that you're paying to live in a place where your money goes way, way further. You pay it one time each year, and then, you're good to go. You have a status. Without some status, you can't even open a bank account. You can't lease a house. You can't have a car registered in your name. You can't really do any kind of business. But along with residency, you get a work permit, which means you can actually the company that you're affiliated with has an authorization to do business, but you then get a work permit so that you can actually work in Ghana if you choose to. And from there, you open a bank account and do all kinds of things. Then you get to take the time and examine the economy and see what is here that I would like to engage in. Now, like I said, this particular video, younger people can listen and learn from it, but it's basically I'm talking to older, mature, retired individuals like school teachers and other business professionals who have become vested and now are looking to step into another stage of life and do other things. And this not only will this benefit you, but you then create a gateway by which others of your family will be able to actually engage the continent of Africa. They may start in Ghana and decide they want to go to Nigeria. These countries have so many, a huge population of very young people who are full of aspiration, extremely intelligent. You could do interviews 2 or 3 times a week where you just interview individuals, which is part of something that I intend to do in the future, about businesses that they might like to start. You see, these young people, you can finance them in doing a business. You just write it up the right way. You make sure that you control the assets, equipment, material, stuff like that. But they are able to use these assets to facilitate their business ideas. Landscapers is a really good business in Ghana because a lot of the equipment that they use is manually operated, but labor is cheap. But if you were to see a team of Ghanaians cutting grass on the median, they don't use lawnmowers, they don't even use swing blades, they use whips. And it seems like, really it's a difficult way to go about it, but they're using what's available to them. But what if you started a landscaping business or any kind of business that required manual labor, but of course that manual labor is facilitated with something that I can manually use and get the job done well manually? Because why would you want to automate everybody out of a job? That's what they're doing in America. It makes no sense. You got all these people, but everything is becoming so automated that it's hard to find jobs for people who are just into manual labor. So in Ghana, everything, including construction, and there's construction all over. A lot of stuff is still manual labor, but it's about the best equipment to facilitate the manual labor. So that's a good thing for an elderly person, especially who has the experience, who knows. I remember when I used to do that, and I used to do it this way, and they haven't even gotten to that point yet where they are doing it this way. And so if I introduce a business with crews that could do it this way, it might be in high demand. And or you could try it and see if it works. Because just about anything that you want to use to start a business, you can purchase from China and Turkey. All those places sell goods to Ghana. And the Chinese supply the United States too, but at a higher cost. So you could be in Ghana and buy stuff, equipment from China and pay less, because the expectation of your being able to pay as much as would be paid in the United States is not there. It's just like buying drugs in the United States. It's 2, 3, 4 times more expensive than anywhere else, because the world is taking advantage of us here in this country. So you're getting your finances from the United States, and then you're deploying these resources somewhere else. That's a win-win situation right there. You might find yourself in a position to be able to invite your family, come and see how I'm living, visit with me for a time, see what you think. I might be able to put you in business. And the thing is the mindset. You make less, but it costs less. And you learn how to live like the Ghanaians live, plus just a little bit better. In other words, you want to have air conditioning in your home and all of that. Ceiling fans in every room but the kitchen. And I have all that in the house that I live in, but that I lease. But all that stuff belongs to me. The poly tank outside, sitting on the tower. The tower was mine, the poly tank's mine, the generator's mine, the cable that hooks up to the power from the generator to the house, that's mine. Everything I install in there belongs to me, and when I leave, if I leave that house, I take it with me to the next place, or I put it up for sale if I decide I want to move on, which I don't really think that's going to happen. I enjoy being in Ghana. I enjoy being able to go back and forth between Ghana and the United States. And I think my wife understands that. And having spent 24 years in the United States military, I think about, well, I used to be away from home as much as 6 months at a time. It was just a part of the job. So now that I'm free to do whatever I want to do, what's wrong with me spending a month in Africa, then 2 months back here in the United States, and just continue on like that? Nothing. Not a thing. I don't think that's a reason why my marriage should fall apart. Now, as for my wife, she has a business. We have a business here in the United States. We use our